Did you catch the Jake Paul, Logan Paul impulsive episode?
Shoot, no.
Okay. So let me set the premise. Obviously, Jake Paul and Logan Paul had an extremely successful Saturday. So Logan was the first fight of Backlash that was in Detroit. He fought Ricochet and got a victory. And then he flew from Detroit to Dallas, where Jake Paul was fighting Nate Diaz. Jake Paul ended up getting the victory over Nate Diaz. Logan Paul was still in his WWE gear. That's how like close they were cutting it, which I think is pretty awesome that they support each other, whatnot. So anyways, we all know that Logan Paul is the co-founder, and he's pushing everything is about this Prime drink that he has, this Prime sports drink or whatever. I don't know what it's called.
I drink it too.
Hydration drink. Yeah, I think people like it.
Yeah.
So anyways, the sponsor of Jake Paul's event was Celsius, which is a direct competitor of Prime, right? So in, I guess, the contract, Jake Paul's business partner put in that Logan Paul cannot bring in any Prime or wear any kind of Prime gear to the event, because obviously he's going to be on camera a lot, and because the sponsor is Celsius, that, you know, they don't want the competitor to be getting airtime and all that kind of stuff. So this is all happening, whatever. So during the podcast, Logan brought this up to Jake and was talking about Jake Paul's lack of loyalty as a brother and all of this type of stuff. Jake Paul then went at Logan and said, well, you kind of are conveniently bring up that we're brothers when it's convenient to you, but then you do a lot of things that would be anti being my brother, like team up with KSI, who you know is my rival, like and he went down a list of, the things that he's done at certain events and all that kind of stuff. Blur out his Better logo because his company is Better. He's partnered with Better. And Logan had blurred out the Better logo in one of Logan Paul's videos and stuff like that, because Logan Paul has a deal with Barstool, which also does gambling and stuff like that. So anyways, they went back and forth. So my question is, what is the line between family and business?
They shouldn't mix.
Okay, go on.
That's why I'm not a fan of partnerships.
Okay.
Because they say the only ship that doesn't sail is a partnership. You're in the minority if you have a family-owned business that is successful, because there's so much going against it. Mm-hmm. There's people that work in the family. There's people that don't. There's people that are effective. There's people that are not. There's people that complain. There's people that are not. There's people that want to do this. There's people that don't want to do it. There's people that know how to handle money. There's people that don't. There's people that steal. There's people that work with the enemy. There's people that do all these things. So you know what? Let's just not. You do your power drink thing over there with my enemy. He's still my enemy. I'm going to punch him in the face when I see him. When we do the Celsius thing over here, don't be upset because I ain't got nothing to do with Prime. And you're still my brother. If you was cutting me a check for Prime, that's a different conversation. Right. But because I don't believe in people in partnerships, like I believe in partnerships that are not that are not owned by the same people.
Right.
So if Jake doesn't have any ownership in Prime, then it's cool.
Right.
What does brothers have to do with this? This is business.
Right.
It's separate.
I agree. Do you feel as if, so let's say somebody you're close to, because I know you're not necessarily, if I say your brother, they don't move you that way. But let's say you have a brother that you're very close to, right? And he's doing his thing, you're doing your thing. do you feel like there's because of family, because of closeness, and this could be a friend too, anybody you feel that kind of like loyalty towards, is there a moment where you feel like you should acquiesce maybe business, success in business because of that loyalty? Or because of that loyalty, should you not be judged if you choose business over maybe something that might hurt the friendship or the relationship?
It's only if it's hurting the other person. If my business is hurting you, killing you, destroying you, breaking your family apart, then yeah, I got to stop doing that. Especially if you care about the person. Mm-hmm. But on average, even if you don't care about them, you don't want to do something that hurts other people. Though there are plenty of businesses out there that hurt people and they hurt the planet and they hurt a lot of things for their own success. But as a person with a heart, I wouldn't want to do something that hurts somebody else. Mm-hmm. But if it doesn't, I want to shut up.
What are the chances you think that this Jake Paul, Logan Paul thing is just because they're going to set up a fight between each other?
It's fake. I haven't seen it. It's fake.
I got to say this. My sister is actually a big fan of the Paul brothers. And Jake Paul just had a documentary released on Netflix within this past week. Yeah. I watched it. It was pretty good. I respect both of these guys because I think that they created what social media is right now and what like YouTube and content creation and all this kind of stuff. You could kind of point it back to these two brothers that have like, I think, been the most successful in taking a YouTube career and then making it like a legitimate entertainment career, like as far as brands and what they've been able to cross over into boxing and Disney Channel and movies and all that kind of stuff, right? They're legit WWE. They're legit. People don't look at them as just YouTubers. They look at them as like true entrepreneurs, right?
Right.
But one thing I could say about the two is I think Logan Paul is extremely fake. I think he everything is calculated and it's all about views and clicks. And I don't look at him as an authentic person. I think that the persona he plays is a character on television, and where I think Jake Paul, I could see as like an authentic person. Like to me, when I watched this, I was like, I agree with Jake. I think Logan is wilding for no reason right now. So if
what was Logan saying again?
Basically, Logan, it seemed like, so this is, do you want what my take is on it or what?
No. Like, so who brought it up? Like Jake was saying that
it was just a lot of things that were brought up. And it basically, the underlying thing was that Jake Paul wasn't loyal enough to Logan because of certain things that he was doing, because of the whole Prime, not allowing Prime into the building in his fight, and because it was a Celsius sponsored event, right? Because Jake Paul is fighting, it has fights with Nate Diaz and Tommy Fury and all these kind of stuff, and Logan feels like he's not getting those fights because he thinks that people think Jake Paul is a worse boxer than Logan Paul and that they're going for the easy fight. He legit said this. He's like, I'm a better fighter than you and people are fighting you because you're an easier fight and that's why they're not fighting me. So he's basically saying that like...
Logan said he's better
than Jake, yeah. And that people are fighting Jake because it's an easier fight than fighting Logan.
Oh, wow. So
it was a lot of... Basically the underlying thing was that like Logan feels like he has to be on the back burner and acquiesce to Jake Paul, and Jake Paul should be doing more because of their brothers.
That argument is fake.
Yeah.
It's fake.
Well, Jake,
I saw a behind-the-scenes video of Logan Paul FaceTiming Jake right before his fight with whoever he just fought.
Nate
Diaz. And he was very loving and sweet with his brother and all of that stuff, and flew over there in his tights and his trunks and whatever.
Yeah.
These boys, you have to think about what's the process of things going online? We got to set the cameras up. We got to turn the lights on. you and I have to do something that's compelling enough for people to want to watch and talk about when they go home and eat dinner with their family. You have to think about the fact that, do we just want Logan and Jake Paul to just talk to each other and say, I'm so proud of you. I just love that you're fighting Ricochet, and I just love that you're fighting Nate Diaz. It's just it's so beautiful. No, right? They're looking for conflict. Right. They're looking for a train to wreck somewhere, somehow. The argument is fake. And not only is it beyond fake, both of those boys are fake. When I look at Jake Paul, I know, and he knows that he stirs a lot of things up online because that's just what gets him the views.
Right.
You know, and he loves when people say, I don't like those guys because blah, 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 blah. And you know what? That's commendable. Because to walk around in that level of hate,
it's tough.
It's hard. It's not hard. It's not easy at all. Mm-hmm. But you're doing it because, you know, that's what drives your business.
Right.
I mean, ultimately, Jake Paul kind of should be not anybody anymore ever since he lost.
Yeah.
The big thing was he's undefeated. He's an incredible boxer. And then he lost to some bum. And then, boom, now he
lost to the first boxer he fought.
He lost to the first boxer he actually fought, who I remember you saying wasn't even all that good.
Yeah.
Was this fight good?
It wasn't his best performance.
There you have it. So he has to keep up with the shenanigans to make sure that people keep watching these things, or else it's going to fall off. If people actually start liking him, they're going to stop watching him.
Right.
So, this fight is orchestrated. Vince McMahon probably put something together there and said, you gotta come up with a story there.
Yeah.
You know?
One thing, though, and if you guys are going to go watch it, it's, like I said, it's impulsive episode, Logan Paul, Jake Paul. I don't think, because I agree, I think a certain part of it is definitely fabricated, right? Or they were like, hey, let's make sure we talk about this. But there's two other people on the podcast. I don't think they told them, because there's legit uncomfortable energy from the two other people where they're like, holy shit, these guys are about to go at it. And it seemed genuine, and these guys aren't like actors and stuff like that. So they were like really uncomfortable trying to like diffuse the situation. And Logan's like, just chill, like relax, like all that kind of stuff. And they were just like, they couldn't do anything because it's obviously Logan Paul.
All right, to end this real quick, who's the better boxer?
Jake Paul. It's not even close.
And Logan thinks he's better.
Yeah. Logan's delusional.
I saw the fight between Logan and Floyd. That's all I gotta say.